Hey guys, welcome back to Frances Quilts and a Free Motion Friday. In this past year, I have learned of a woman named Helen Godden from Canberra, Australia. Canberra, by the way, is where we lived when we were in Australia many years ago. She is an amazing quilter and does some wonderful videos and other courses. I have bought one of her courses. She does some great quilting, and I'm really excited to do her current quilt-along that she has. Apparently, she does this every Christmas, and she puts out a Christmas design. This year, it is this Christmas tree. She provided the pattern and told us to draw it out with markers using Sharpies on fabric, and that's what I've done here. It took about 10 minutes to get it ready to go, and now I'm going to sit down and start working through the designs that she is going to teach us. Every Christmas ball is going to be a different pattern and different design, and so I hope you enjoy just watching as I watch her do it first and then try to emulate what she's doing. I think it's going to be fun.
And of course, the first ball that I quilted, I had forgotten to turn the camera on, so we're going to start with number 2 here. She told us to just draw some ovals along the edges, working our way to a center with circles in the center there. We're going to see how this goes. The first step is just to echo quilt around the ball itself. Now let's start making some ovals. And don't worry, in a few minutes I am going to speed this up so you don't have to watch it quite this slow, because there are 12 of them to do. So now moving to the center, trying to make them a little more rounded. It was actually kind of fun to try to make them oval. I hadn't really done that before. I'd always just tried for circular, so it was interesting just to try to make that little change. Second one is done. For this one, she had us draw in 5 lines here, and we're going to start out by quilting on the 3 alternate lines. And then now we are going to just make points into the center where we have the crossover, and then back. And in just a minute, you'll see that we are making tiny little flying geese. Who knew? And here, obviously, we have speeded it up. I'm not quilting this fast. With this, it just took me a minute to get the feel of what they were supposed to look like. And then once I had that, I was ready to go. And then just quilting some echoing lines in here just to finish off the ball and kind of give it a little bit rounded look. She said to make the circles a little shallower as you went up. On to number 4. This one started in the middle with a tight spiral. I didn't do it quite as tight as I should have to begin with. But then she said just to echo off or push off to one side. And I was a little concerned that was I going to be able to make this work and keep it even, but it actually worked out well. So now I've made a little 5-pointed star, and I'm just going to go in and do some echo lines around each one of the areas. It really does a cool job of making that ball look like it is indeed round. All right, number 5. This one we just started with a large squiggle, And then we are echoing around that, keeping some of them really close together, some of those lines, and some of them can be further apart. The idea is to make something here that looks kind of like a topo map, or something that shows the altitudes on a map. The next one, you can see we have done quite a bit of drawing on it, and we are doing a jigsaw puzzle. Now, I felt like I was completely out of control when I was doing this. It took me a little while to get into the rhythm. The first few 3 or 4 pieces, I did them all exactly the same because I didn't think about the fact that I needed to alternate between them. This is just a type of a grid design that I've talked about before this past year, but this one is being done in on lines that have a little bit of a curve to them rather than being straight. So we've done all of that side. Let's go over, pick up the one I missed on that side, on the other side anyway, and then now let's go the other direction. As I said, I felt out of control, but at the end it looked really good. So I'm just quilting across on the line and then making a little dip in it to one side or the other. Ta-da! Let's move on to the next one. This one was a series of paisleys. I think she called them teardrops. And it was just basically the design that I know is paisley. So I just used it to fill in that area. She suggested that all of the teardrops should pretty much go in the same direction. So that's what I did as well. When I'm doing this on a free motion design, I try to have some of those paisleys going different directions. But for this, I think this is a great idea, just to have them all going pretty much straight from the top to the bottom. I've missed a few little areas over on the right, so I'm going to zip around there and put in 1 or 2 more little loops right there. Seven done. For this one, again, we had to draw in just a few little lines. And this was something that she calls her dancing men or something like that. I may have gotten the wrong name here. I was a little weird. I thought it was a little weird of a design and was concerned about it. But what you do is, I've just done an arm. Now I'm going to come down and I'm going to do 2 legs. And then I'm going to do another arm and 2 legs. And I know you're saying that does not look like an arm and legs, but wait till we put the heads on it and then you'll see. So I have 5 or 6 little men there, and then now I'm just going to come across and do an arm and a circle for the head. And I had to stop here and make sure I was getting all my heads over the legs. Aren't those fun? And they were so easy, and I would have originally thought there is no way I could do that, but because this was just a little test, just trying them very, very quickly, it was just really easy to do, and I felt confident that I could do 5 of them. I might not have been able to do 50, but I certainly could do 5. This one is a swirl that she calls a touching swirl. Now, I have done swirls before where you come out of this and you come around and you do another swirl. For this one though, she wants this swirl, the second one, to touch the first one. So I'm going to go all the way back around until it touches that one. And then I'm going to just travel along and bring it back over until it touches it again. So now those 2 swirls are connected. Let's do another one. Again, I don't think I'm particularly good at swirls, but in this case, because they are a small area and I don't have to do too many of them, I felt a little more confidence in them. Again, when I get close to that edge, I'm just traveling over that edge till I get to the next area I want to be in. Little teeny swirl in here. I probably should have done a half swirl instead of a little one, but that's all right. Just doing some little lines here that look like they are part of a swirl. Just pretend that the rest of it is there. And then again, just some lines that look like they are part of the previous swirl. All right, we are moving right along here. This one were the thing that she calls flames, or I think she calls them dancing flames. Anyway, it's just making little swoops up and down with some of them have points on them and some of them don't. They don't all have to go to the bottom. Again, when I first started doing this design, I thought it was hard, but I have finally learned that it actually is a pretty easy design. This one we are doing a series of wishbone designs. I found it hard to do in such a small area. I might be better off if I had turned my fabric so that I was doing them side to side rather than up and down. And then at the bottom we're just doing a loop back and forth. Honestly, it ends up looking a little bit like a ribbon candy. And she didn't have this in her design, but I felt like these needed a little bit more definition, so I just went ahead and did a little bit of quilting between those lines just to give them some definition. All right, this one is a rainbow sort of design. I can't at this point remember exactly what she called it, but she wants us to do 5 different loops. So we're gonna come here and we're gonna do a little one, and then we're gonna go 2, 3, 4, and then 5. The nice thing about an uneven number is it puts you going the other direction. So now I can make another little loop and do that same thing, doing 5 of them each time. It ends up looking like little rainbows on top of each other. And again, if I run into a previous one, I just echo along there or travel along there a little bit and until I have room to come back out and do the rest of my rainbow. This is a design that I've never done before, so it was interesting just to try it. I think I would definitely enjoy using it in something larger. Okay, let's have a look at a few of these. There are several of these that at the time when I was quilting them, I thought, oh, that looks horrible. Like these little guys right here, I thought they were going to be horrible, but look, they're so much fun. And this right here, I really felt like I was out of control on a lot, but look how good that looks. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty happy with how those turned out, and I can't wait to finish the other 12 of these balls and finish this Christmas tree. Since this Quilt-A-Long ends on December 24th, I probably will be finishing it sometime after Christmas, but I can't wait to get back to it. And I hope you'll join me next Friday to see how it finishes out. And in between now and then, you can go check out Helen Godden's designs and her quilts and her magnificent quilting. I will leave links here as well as in the show notes. Well, it's almost Christmas, and however you celebrate, I hope that you have a marvelous time with family and friends. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Frances Quilts.
Remember, if you like what you've seen, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please check out my website and daily blog at francesquilts.com, and I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Frances Quilts. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.